And welcome everyone to February 10, Monday. That's right. Let me make sure everyone's hearing me and we'll be good to go. Who the heck knows? All right. Sounds like it's good. So welcome. Welcome. Boy, we have an interesting show for you today. Today is called Delphi, the need to intervene for transparency. And we're going to be talking about why it is so or such a priority for this judge to maintain a wall of secrecy around this case and put up as many obstacles to transparency as she can. It's just unbelievable. Why is she working so hard to withhold evidence from the public? As I said in my last show, it's probably because she knows that we are going to highly scrutinize every single piece. And for that reason, I say, hey, make everything available. How about the entire discovery? Okay. We should go above and beyond, not just trial exhibits, but the entire discovery, because we will pick it apart. And that's what they're afraid of. For instance, it's already occurring to us that there's some problem with this photograph of the cell phone. Yeah, there really is. It appears that we have been bamboozled either by the family or the prosecutor. Now, you pick your poison. Uh, Tell me, with this phone that is supposed to be a rose gold iPhone, allegedly, uh, we have now concretely determined 1,000,000%, or maybe that's exaggerating, 1,000%, that this phone in the photograph that was disclosed a week ago, these phones from the alleged crime scene of the alleged phone that Liberty was in possession of, we absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt now that that is not a rose gold iPhone 6S. And that's a question for you. That's a question for you. What is that phone supposed to be? Because either the family's lying or the prosecutor is lying. Who's lying about the phone? Anyway, let's get into saying hi to everyone, and then we'll dive into the show for today. There's new news, so I should have put new news, but we do have some new information tonight, so that's what we're looking at. But let's say hello to everyone first. Let's see who's in here. If you're in the viewing audience, please join the live chat. We would love to have you here in the live chat. That's where everyone gets to talk and discuss and enjoy each other's presence. So please enjoy each other's presence. There's no reason not to. There's plenty of nice people in this chat. Troll Farm's banned, so don't worry, they're not here. And if they happen to step in here, we'll kick them in the ass on the way out. Now let's see who we have here. We have Say What. What's up, Say What, and welcome to you. Say What is in here. Rhonda Holton is here. Amy, what's up, Amy? Amy has posted our support pathways right here at the top of the chat. Please visit our support pathways. We have the Cash App, Buy Me a Coffee. Appreciate any support you give to the channel. Help us keep going and enjoy it. Welcome, Low Light Recovery. Welcome to you. All right, we're going to put this in here. What are the chances Kash Patel doesn't already know more about this murder, railroad, and cover-up than all of us combined? I bet Gull and McClelland are scared AF. I don't know. Hopefully someone knows something about it, especially those in the FBI. They need to be knowing about this. Look, here's one thing we can say for certain. FBI knows about the Delphi murders. Let's not kid each other. So, what's up, Amy? Mark Ellis, 26 dead zombies, dude. Crystal Blue Persuasion. Jonathan Smith. Oh, did you get shirts? How do they fit? How's the fit on them? Thanks, Mark Ellis. Thanks a lot, Mark. I'd like to see which patterns you got, but hopefully they fit well. Let's see. Jonathan Smith, Oleg Cat. We got Tracy Thornton. What's up, Tracy? Nicole Watt. Plain Iron. Ninja Warrior Assassin. Aaron Town. Tammy Martin. Oh, what? It's already hit the fan, Tammy. Don't you know that? What do you talk about? All right. Mino Dino. Rebecca Ann, 1965. Go subscribe. All right. It's Rebecca Ann. All right. We got who else in here? Ben, Aaron, and Deb. And we have Kelly. Nancy Drew 101. What's up, Nancy Drew? We got Bezo Jones in the house. What's up, Bezo Jones? All right. Stephanie is in here. Rhonda Holt. Oh, I said hi already. Okay. Who else is in here? Dennis. What's up, Dennis? What's up, Gretchen Allen? Tracy says, husband's making a drink. Good. Enjoy, Tracy. Don't worry, I'll be reading some things tonight. Oh my gosh, here we go with the reading again. What's up, Amy, Mickey, or Mikey? All right, what's up, Asha, Harry? All right, who else we got in here? Cosmo. I wish it was Cosmo Kramer. I like Cosmo Kramer. What's up, Rhonda? Help me, Rhonda. Judy Hadaway. What's up? We got Brenda. Okay. Don Steele coming in. What's up, Don Steele? What's up, Kayla? What's up, Digital? Digital's coming in. All right, Digital got in here. AKA Radar. What's up? Says, grab some popcorn, hit the like. Oh, please do. On the way in. Come on, not on the way out. Hit it on the way in and you'll be covered. What's up, Kaleida Hope? Heather Brown's here. What up, Heather? Marianne Foster. And we got Bonnie and Tracy Fleetwood. The whole crew coming in. Deborah's in here. Swade Smith. Niobe. What's up, Niobe? Laura Naran. All right. Who am I missing now? Sweet Dude Shibby. There he is. That's who I was missing. What's up, Sweet Dude Shibby? Okay. MJ Lewis, 1964. Hey, hey, hey. Still working on this list. Let's see. Fur Baby Daddy's coming in. What's up, Fur Baby Daddy? Yeah, Corrupt Witch. Pardon my language. I tend to get a little upset. Kelly, what's up, Kelly? All right. Dieter's in here. What's up, Dieter? Lindsay, what's up, Lindsay? She says they're both lying about the phone. Well, maybe, yeah, I left that option out. Maybe the prosecutor and the family are all lying about the phone. One thing we know for sure, that phone and those photos is not a rose gold iPhone, period. Okay. It has been determined. Thanks for the super sticker or chat, whatever that is. MJ Lewis, thank you. What's up, Jake Brooks? Hey, hey, hey. All right. All right. Yeah, look, we always know there's been nothing but fuckery about these devices, right? We don't know. We're talking about iPhone. We're talking about a tablet. We're talking about another iPhone. We're talking about Libby's phone. We're talking about Abby's phone. We're talking about a flip phone. We're talking about a tablet. How many devices were these girls using? All right. And you know this. You know this. I've Apophis made a good point in this last video. There's 3 phones and a 4th that's videotaping, okay? Or 3 devices and a 4th. These girls had access to devices. Let's not kid each other, okay? There's things I don't say about the girls' access and what was going on with phones, because some things are just not so flattering on the victims to talk about what the victims were doing prior in sending around things with these phones. Okay, so we're not going to go there, but let's say there's a whole lot to this story that's not told when it comes to the devices and the accounts. Remember, Kelsey did have access, and some of the others, to all of these various accounts and all of the sign-ins and the logins and the iCloud. You don't know what was going on with this, and this is the most infuriating thing of this entire case, right? There's been so many lies from everyone involved, and even the prosecutor misleading the public. We don't know what was going on. All we know is everything with these devices and these social media accounts has been an entire clusterfuck from day one. They've all lied about it intentionally. There's been things that have happened that we have no clue have happened. And we can't even get law enforcement to investigate it properly and tell the story truthfully. And we can't get the family to do it. So what are we left with? Tentacles, confusion, chaos. How is that respecting the memory of these girls? What's up, Andy? Thanks for coming in. I'm glad you caught it live. So glad to have you. Mar R, what's up, Mar? Glad to have you here. And Peaches 81, you too. All right. Yeah, thank you, Aaron. I guess I missed that third option. I'm glad you guys covered it. So you're sharp. What's up, Lowered Customs? Okay, we got Sunflower. What's up, sweetheart? Sunflower in here. All right. And who else are we missing? Oh, we got Miss John Snow. Okay. Trial Junkie. What's up? Jonathan Smith. Hello. Catastrophe. What's up? Who's your daddy 11? There he is. What's up? Good, good, good. Everyone's coming in. Awesome. Jim Chrisman. I almost called you Grim Gisman. What the Deb, what's up? Possum friend. Hello. Okay. You just learned about Buster Hernandez? Is that what you're saying? You got me out. You caught me off guard here. All right. Oh, they fit good? Okay, perfect. Perfect to hear. Glad to hear. Sunflower Soul, what's up? Judy, what's up? Easy E 205, what's up? All right, Cosmo Kramer. All right. How about Fusilli Jerry? Remember the Fusilli Jerry episode? That's my favorite episode. That thing went where? What's up, Judge Jessica? The wonderful Judge Jessica has an amazing Twitter account. If you don't follow her there, please do. Go find her on Twitter. Please post it Jessica, in the chat so that our wonderful chat members can go follow you on Twitter because you make nice posts. Okay. Birdie81, what's up? What the hell? What are the odds? Look, we got Birdie81 and Peaches81. What do you guys? You guys husband and wife? Kit Kat, what's up? 43 Goblin, what's up? All right. I think I've caught up with you guys for the most part. We can get into it. Oh, we got Bell Mayhem. Okay. Hadn't caught you yet. Babby Lash, what's up? I hadn't caught you. Oh, hey, Christina's here. What's up, Christina? All right. Criminal Network. What's up, Criminal Network's in here? Go subscribe to Criminal Network. Wonderful documentaries. Okay. Love versus Money 68. There she is. What's up? All right. Oh, Dr. Von Decay. What's up, Dr. Von Decay? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. All right. All right. So that's enough with the greetings. What's up, KU? I'm trying to catch everyone to be nice to you all and make sure I don't leave anyone out. G Ray, what's up? Okay. So tonight what's up? Don't dox me. Right. Trying to catch everyone here. Jaylen, what's up? All right. L'Oreal. Okay. Don't want to leave anyone out. All right. So tonight, here we go. Tonight, we are going to be covering. Yeah, the gang's all here. Thanks for summarizing. Okay, so look, tonight we're going to be covering this right here. Let me say like this. We're going to go from most current on back. Okay, so we're going to be canvassing the motions to intervene on the part of the media for the most part. And what we're doing that for is we want to cover the desperate attempts at transparency that the public has been making for years now, all the way going back 2022. And it's just a shame. It is a damn shame that for, what is it, 3 years now? 3 years now, the public has been begging for access to these public records, consistently or constantly having to petition the court for our transparency. And the thing is, it just has not happened. Okay, so we're going to be starting here and we're going to be going backwards. But the most current thing is very interesting. So we'll start with that one, and then we'll kind of go back and take a look at the whole lineage of efforts to do this. And a good point to make here is Aside from the motions to intervene, there are also all the FOIA requests that are being blanket denied. Okay, so we've got blanket denials of FOIAs. We've got what appears to be a lack of cooperation with the law or the Indiana Code in access to public records. So, yeah, it's been unbelievable here. So, but something new. Okay, this is where I want to start tonight, and that is our current deal, which is the Twist Media motion to intervene and compel access to public trial exhibits. I've said so many times, and listen, the last time I spoke with one of the investigators, I said to her, I was basically screaming and yelling because I said, I want the original Bridge Guy video from the phone. Why can we not have that? Why? If we can have the enhanced, if we can have the photoshopped, manipulated, created, why can we not have at this very moment? Why don't we already have the original, untampered with video from this alleged victim's phone? It's absolutely unacceptable. But anyway, this is where we're going to start. Twist Media. Okay. What's up, Miss K? This is what I'm saying. Original raw video. Let us determine for ourselves what that Bridge Guy actually looks like and what those sounds on that video actually sound like. And you notice that McClellan, okay, before I get started too, you notice that McClellan begged the court to seal all of this, right? Especially now here's one thing you may not recall. This goes way back to 2022. McClellan was the one who begged this all to be sealed. Okay? And remember, after sentencing, McClellan begged for those crime scene photos to be sealed. All right? And then what did he do just last week? He released those 3 photos of the phone to benefit him because he's trying to make Stacey Eldridge look ridiculous. Okay, so when he thought it was behooving to him and to his argument to discredit Stacey Eldridge, he released the photos that he had asked to be sealed. Did he violate his own order? I mean, what are these people? But no, but we can't have that original untampered with Bridge Guy video from that you are claiming comes from the victim's phone, that you're claiming the victim filmed, that you're claiming contains the voice and the image of the person who killed these girls. There's a whole lot here that doesn't make sense. All right. So this says Twist Media LLC, Twist by counsel, respectfully moves the court to intervene or moves to intervene in this action for the sole purpose of seeking access to public trial exhibits following denial of its request by the court reporter of Allen County. Okay. In support, Twist states the following. Now, let's stop. This means that Jody Williams outright denied access that was requested by this Twist Media LLC. So let's continue and we'll be getting into that. Factual background. Twist is a highly reputed production company and produces programming focusing on news, investigations, and true crime stories. Well, I don't know that to be factual yet because I've not really determined the products of Twist Media LLC yet. I was doing some looking today and I couldn't really put my hands on any of the product of Twist Media. So we're still working on that. But upon information and belief, a separate media company, the intervening intervening media company has filed a similar motion to intervene and compel access to public trial exhibits pursuant to the Indiana Public Records Act, Indiana Code 514.3, seeking copies of public exhibits admitted during the trial in this case. The request specifically excluded exhibits under seal. All right, so understanding that the intervening media company understands that it is specifically excluding in their request the specific items or exhibits that are under seal. So we're not asking for what's under seal. We're asking for everything that is not under seal. In acknowledgement that the public trial exhibits are voluminous, the intervening media company requested that the court reporter prioritize requests for 1, any and all police interviews with Richard Allen, video and audio. Okay, so if you're taking notes, which I hope some of you do, these are some of the bullet points to go in your note list. And trust me, there'll be more later. So we should be keeping tab of what specific items are being prioritized in the request. So any and all police interviews with Richard Allen, audio and video. Okay. Any and all prison phone calls between Richard Allen and his wife and mother. Okay. Any and all recorded prison phone calls between Richard Allen and his wife and his mother. So you remember, according to Brian Harshman, what is that, like 700 something? I know someone in the chat will remember. Okay. Upon information and belief, the court reporter responded as follows. And this is Jody Williams, right? Saying, I am in receipt of your request for the exhibits or the release of exhibits. Perhaps at some point in the future, media may be permitted to view the exhibits that are not sealed and confidential pursuant to Indiana rules of public access or court order at a time and date the court determines. But it would be after the filing of the transcript with the Indiana Court of Appeals, as the exhibits are required for that purpose. Okay. So I have a question here, and this is where I wanted an attorney. I sent a message out to one of my attorney friends in Indiana, but haven't heard back. But I was hoping he would come on and give us his opinion as to whether this is standard operating procedure here, that it is not until after filing of a transcript with Indiana Court of Appeals that exhibits are released. Okay. Upon information and belief, the intervening media company's representative asked if there's a way to know when the transcript will be filed. And the court reporter replied, an entry for notice of a filing of a transcript will be made in the online docket when the transcript has been filed. Well, that's a smarty pants way of saying it. That's a smarty pants way of saying it, isn't it, Jody Williams? But hey, you know what's the funny part though? Why is it though that Jody Williams will give Fig Sauls whatever the fuck he wants whenever the fuck he wants it? Remember that? I've shown you that several times. Troll Farm gets whatever they want whenever they want it. This is why Murder Sheet is on the thumbnail here, because we're going to cover that later. But remember, when they asked, they got it. Yeah. As of the date of this filing, it does not appear that any notice of appeal has been filed. Upon information and belief, the intervening media company sent materially similar requests to the Carroll County Clerk on January 24, 2025. The request to Carroll County sought priority access to the specific exhibits identified in the request to Allen County, along with a request for priority access to the 43-second cell phone video clip recorded by Liberty German. Put that on your list. Okay? Put that on the list, because that's another specific request. So far, what do we have? We have priority for all police interviews of Richard Allen, priority for all the phone calls with the family, which means his wife and mother primarily. And now we're asking for bridge guy video, quote unquote. The Carroll County clerk responded on January 27, 2025, stating that the requested exhibits would have to be requested through the Allen County Reporter, and that these documents may or may not be available. That will be up to the judge. Of course it is. Okay. Motion to intervene. All right. And keep your pens handy for the, we're going to hit some more bullet points momentarily. All right. Because the Allen County Court Reporter has denied the request, and because the Carroll County Clerk referred the intervening media company to Allen County Court Reporter, Twist believes any request to the Allen County Court Reporter will result in a similar denial, and therefore believes the court intervention to be necessary. Accordingly, Twist requests leave to intervene in this action for the limited purpose of seeking access to public trial exhibits as requested, with priority access to the following exhibits. Here you go with your bullet point list. Any and all recorded police interviews with Richard Allen. Okay, you know those. Any and all recorded prison phone calls between Richard Allen, his wife, and his mother. And the 43-second cell phone video clip recorded by Liberty German. Any and all transcripts of interrogations of any suspect by any investigating entity. Now that's an amazing one. Okay, that's an amazing one. Any and all transcripts of interrogations of any suspects by any investigating entity. Now remember, obviously that's going to exclude the 70 days of deleted interviews or interrogations of parties and suspects. Any and all transcripts of testimony of Dr. Monica Walla. Now that's rich. I thought that was amazing to include. Whoever this is, I highly applaud the pointed nature of these requests, and specifically what's being requested, because I think they're all high priority elements here, especially this transcripts of Monica Walla. Okay, highly important. Okay, because if we are going to analyze this entire scenario, what kind of the gist that I got from looking at this is that they are looking to analyze the entire scenario of the alleged confessions, the substance of it, the context of it. And I think that's really amazing, because if you're requesting all the phone calls, which are going to include these alleged confessions, all the transcripts of Monica Walla, which are going to include these alleged confessions, all the police interviews of Richard Allen, this is all kind of inclusive of this angle that Richard Allen confessed to killing Abby and Libby 63 times, which I've covered extensively before. We all know it's not 63 confessions. It's more like 5. Okay. Any and all notes of a confession from Richard Allen. There you go. Any and all crime scene photographs which are not under seal. Well, that you can give up on that one. That's not going to happen. Twist. Okay, Twist seeks intervention for this limited purpose as a surrogate for the public. Now, don't you love that? Okay. Okay, don't you love that? Intervention as a surrogate for the public. I think this is an amazing aspect to keep in mind, that we are discussing or talking about public access. So the context we need to be looking at this is through the eyes of the right of public access. So it makes sense that they would highlight the fact that this intervention is for purposes of a surrogate for the public, which means their dime for the benefit of the public. The right of the public to access, okay? Motion to compel access to public trial exhibits. The Indiana General Assembly expressly recognizes Indiana's public policy that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of the government, the official acts of those who represent them as public officials and employees. Indiana Code 514.3.1, and we're going to get to that very shortly. Further explaining that APRA will be liberally construed to implement this policy, and that the burden for non-disclosure falls on the public agency. All specifically crafted language here in the code. Pay attention that these words matter. Okay, these words matter. The Indiana Supreme Court, in promulgating the rules on access to court records, likewise recognizes a presumption of openness and requires compelling evidence to overcome this presumption. Once again, very specific language crafted purposefully by the courts in making these rules, with the objective of providing maximum public accessibility to court records. Okay, very specific. So why is it that this judge feels that she can bury this trial? Listen, she wants to bury all evidence. She wants to bury all testimony in this trial, all exhibits from this trial, all exculpatory evidence. And this has been going on since 2022. Apart from well-reasoned policy considerations, the public interest in accessing judicial records has constitutional dimensions. Twist, as a member and representative of the public, is presumptively entitled to judicial documents and proceedings under the First and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. It's clear that the courts of this country recognize a general right to inspect and copy public documents, including judicial records and documents. The Indiana Constitution, similarly, and arguably more so, protects public access and key news gathering activities. Article 1 of Indiana Constitution Section 9 states, "No law shall be passed restraining the free interchange of thought and opinion or restricting the right to speak, write, or print freely on any subject whatsoever." Recognizing that the Indiana Constitution more jealously protects freedom of speech guarantees than does the U.S. Constitution. In light of Indiana's constitutional protection of the free interchange of ideas, the Indiana Supreme Court has assumed that a material burden on news gathering ability could violate the Indiana Constitution. You see how we're building an interesting case here? Considering Indiana's policy favoring public access and the constitutional implications of restricting access to judicial records, the public's and media's interest in accessing public trial exhibits is accorded substantial weight. And I do agree with that. This is a compelling case being made. APRA governs access to court records, such as public trial exhibits requested. It says, see ACR Rule 1A, see also ACR Rule 3A and B. APRA allows requests for inspection and or copying of public records so long as they are made with reasonable particularity and are not accepted from public access by statute. The request is certainly reasonably particular as it encompasses public trial exhibits in this matter. Public trial exhibits. The court reporter correctly did not claim that any APRA exception precluded access. After all, the request itself excludes any exhibits maintained under seal, and the requested exhibits already were shown in open court during trial. Public agencies may not deny or interfere with the public's general right of access and must either, one, provide the requested documents to the person making the request, or allow the person to make copies on the agency's or person's own equipment within a reasonable time after the request is received. The court reporter's refusal to provide access to the public trial exhibits until after the transcript is filed at the earliest is unreasonable and interferes with the public's right to access. This says, see Indiana Code 514.3.3, Section B. There is no reason that the public trial exhibits cannot be copied and provided to twist at the same time that the transcript is being prepared. And like I said, this is where I attempted to have an Indiana defense attorney give me some clarity on this procedure and if what are the norms in this context. But still don't have that. So hopefully we'll get clarity soon on whether this is standard fare or whether there's a glitch in the system here as being implied in that paragraph 22. 23. Unfortunately, it appears that the public records may be held indefinitely absent court intervention. The problem is especially acute given that no notice of appeal has been filed as of the date of this motion. And remember, this is from the 7th. Today's the 10th that I'm recording this. Granting access to the requested exhibits in this case, which has garnered significant public attention, and that's to say the least. This is beyond significant. This is one of the predominant cases in the world that the world is watching. Significant public attention is an understatement. Access would promote transparency and trust in the judicial system, but this judge has made sure this entire time, for these years, 2022, 23, 24, and now 25, this judge, this prosecutor, and this Indiana State Police has ensured that the public would not have trust in this entire system. Remember, from the beginning, the Indiana State Police has blocked public access to any information, causing the public to gradually grow less and less confident in this investigation. And then from the moment that Richard Allen was arrested and this process started in the judicial system in Indiana, the prosecutor has made sure to keep a wall up around this information. And now, since the sentencing, there's been nothing even close to transparency in this. The one and only time that there was a shred of transparency was the moment that this judge wanted to use the cameras in the courtroom to intimidate the defense attorneys. Remember, when she was trying to bully them or force them into a corner or force their hand or intimidate them into stepping down from the representation of Richard Allen, at that moment, she allowed the cameras in the courtroom for the sheer purpose of intimidating the attorneys. It's the one and only time you've had cameras in the courtroom when she wanted to use it as a threat to embarrass them in front of those cameras. You had witnesses in the trial perjure themselves on the stand. You've possibly had law enforcement, the prosecutor himself, perjure themselves in this process. You've even had the family either be untruthful before trial or during trial and after. It's one or the other. Because when the answers are different, they can't both be true. Granting access to the requested exhibits in this case, which has garnered significant public attention, as I said, to say the least, would promote transparency and trust in the judicial system. Yeah, you would think. See Nebraska Press Association v. Stewart, stating that secrecy of judicial action can only breed ignorance and distrust of courts, and free and robust reporting, criticism, and debate can subject the criminal justice system to the cleansing efforts of exposure and public accountability. Wherefore, Twist respectfully requests that the court grant Twist leave to intervene in the above captioned cause for the limited purpose of seeking access to public trial exhibits. Compel the court reporter of Allen County to provide Twist copies of the exhibits covered by the priority requests as admitted at trial and not under seal, no later than 3 business days from the date of this order. Oh, well. Compelled the court reporter of Allen County to provide Twist copies of the remainder of public trial exhibits as admitted at trial and not under seal within 10 business days from the date of this order, and all other just and appropriate relief. Okay, so that's a little taste for you. All right. And what I like to do is further move on to some other things you just may not believe. Why has it been such a fight? This entire thing has been such a fight. All right, here we go with this one. Now you'll see that this is going back a week, okay? So just prior to that, there was this. NBCU's motion to intervene and compel access to public trial exhibits. NBC Universal Media, by counsel respectfully moves to intervene in this action for the sole purpose of seeking access to public trial exhibits following denial of its request by court reporter of Allen County. Boy, she's just gaining a lot of fans this month, isn't she? Let me remind you, let's see if I have those slides up and available. Let me remind you who this woman is, okay? And I hate to do it. I really do hate to do that because it's not my intent to it's not my intention to slam the other YouTubers. It's not my intention to slam the other YouTubers, but things like this, the public needs to be aware of. This is one of our YouTubers communicating with another of our YouTubers saying, my source is a person who works for Judge Gull. My source says, whenever I say source, I'm talking about this person. She has seen all the docs. She says Richard Allen is guilty as sin. She's 100% sure, and she wants harsh punishment to happen to him. She was saying how she hopes Judge Gull keeps him in Westville because that's where he belongs. Okay? My source, the one who works for the judge, says that there's these versions, and then I hope my judge source will get access to the documents. Okay, so the judge source who says Richard Allen is guilty as sin, 100% sure because she's seen all the documents. This is your Jody Williams. This is your Jody Williams. This is your Jody Williams. Who is working in lockstep with the judge to prohibit public access to public exhibits. Remember, according to the prof, you should have had this shit the day that verdict was handed down. In my own humble, no lawyer opinion, okay? In my non-lawyering opinion, at a bare minimum, you should have, at the very latest, it should have been the day that the verdict was handed down. We should have had our own copies of all these exhibits. NBCU is one of the world's leading media companies and produces Dateline NBC, a weekly news program focusing on significant legal proceedings and investigations throughout the country. On January 8, 2025, NBCU sent the court reporter a public records request pursuant to the Indiana Public Records Act, Indiana Code 514.3, seeking copies of public exhibits admitted during trial in this case. The request, see Exhibit 1, page 2. In its request, NBCU specifically excluded exhibits under seal. Oh, another one. Okay, another one. Now, let's do a little pause here. I'm going to pull this down. And what I would love to do first, let's take a look at this access to public records. And please bear with me. It won't be very long. I promise it's not that very long. Here I'm reading directly from the Indiana Code, okay? Because that's what's being referenced throughout these motions to intervene. A fundamental philosophy of the American constitutional form of representative government is that government is the servant of the people and not their master. Accordingly, it is the public policy of the state that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of the government and the official acts of those who represent them as public officials and employees. Providing persons with the information is an essential function of a representative government and an integral part of the routine duties of public officials and employees, whose duty is to provide the information. This chapter shall be liberally construed to implement this policy and place the burden of proof for the non-disclosure of a public record on the public agency that would deny access to the record, and not on the person seeking to inspect and copy the record. I hope you heard that. I hope you heard that. That is from the introduction. The definitions set forth in this section apply throughout this chapter. Copy includes transcribing by handwriting, photocopying, xerography, duplicating machine, duplicating electronically stored data on a disk, tape, drum, or any other medium of electronic data storage, and reproducing by any other means. Criminal intelligence information means data that has been evaluated to determine that the data is relevant to the identification of the criminal activity engaged in, an individual who or organization that is reasonably suspected of involvement in criminal activity. Direct cost means 105% of the sum of the cost of the initial development of a program, the labor required to retrieve electronically stored data, the labor required to obscure non-disclosable information, perform an administrative review to determine if all non-disclosable information has been obscured in a law enforcement recording, and any medium used for electronic output, for providing a duplicate of electronically stored data onto a disk, tape, drum, or other medium of electronic data retrieval under Section 8G of this chapter, or for reprogramming of a computer system under Section 6C of this chapter. However, if the labor described in Subdivision 3 is performed by an attorney, the cost under Subdivision 3 may not exceed reasonable attorney's fees. Electronic map means copyrighted data provided by a public agency from electronic geographic information system. Enhanced access means the inspection of a public record by a person other than a governmental entity, and that is by means of an electronic device or other than an electronic device provided by a public agency in the office of the public agency, or requires a compilation or creation of a list or report that does not result in the permanent electronic storage of the information. Facsimile machine means a machine that electronically transmits exact images through connection with the telephone network. Inspect includes the right to do the following: manually transcribe and make notes, abstracts, or memoranda. In the case of tape recordings or other oral public records, to listen and manually transcribe or duplicate or make notes, abstracts, or other memoranda from them. In the case of public records available by enhanced access under Section 3.5 of this chapter to a governmental entity, or Section 3C2 of this chapter, to examine, copy the public records by use of an electronic device. In the case, electronically stored data, to manually transcribe and make notes, abstracts, or memoranda, or to duplicate the data onto disk, tape, drum, or any other medium of electronic storage. Investigatory record means information copied in the course of the investigation of a crime. Listen. Law enforcement activity means a traffic stop, a pedestrian stop, an arrest, a search, an investigation, a pursuit, crowd control, traffic control, or any other instance in which a law enforcement officer is enforcing the law. All right. Law enforcement recording means an audio-visual or audio-visual recording of a law enforcement activity captured by a camera or device that is provided to or used by law enforcement in the scope of an officer's duties, designed to be worn by a law enforcement officer or attached to a vehicle or transportation of a law enforcement officer. Offender means a person confined in a prison, county jail, detention facility, penal institution, or in a community corrections program as a result of a person's arrest or conviction of a crime. Person means an individual, corporation, a limited liability company, a partnership, an incorporated association, or a government entity. Private university police department means a police officers appointed by the governing board of a private university. Provider has the meaning set out in Indiana Code 1682995B and includes employees of the Indiana Department of Health or local boards of health who create patient records at the request of another provider, or who are social workers and create records concerning the family background of children who may need assistance. Okay. And we're going to skip ahead to number 2. The following records of a private university police department are public records, and it lists. And now here's the important section here that's being cited in these filings, or these motions. 514.3, Section 3. Any person may inspect and copy the public records of any public agency during the regular business hours of the agency, except as provided in Section 4 of this chapter. A request for inspection or copying must, 1, identify with reasonable particularity the record being requested. Go back to our bullet point list. Understand that those were particularly requested. Okay, 2, be at the discretion of the agency in writing or in a form provided by the agency. Well, this court does not provide any forms, so you would understand that any form of contact through the email, the official email for the Allen County Court should be sufficient. No request may be denied because the person making the request refuses to state the purpose of the request. Okay, so all of this verbiage that we're a highly respected media company who produces true crime media content and we're highly respected and this has worldwide import, all of those type of predications of the credentials of the requester is really it's a moot point, because here specifically in the code you see that no request may be denied because the person making the request refuses to state the purpose. They don't need to know how important you are or that you're NBC or ABC or CNN or Fox. It doesn't matter. We are public. If a request is for inspection or copying of a LE recording, the request must provide the information required under subsection 1. Or is that an I? That's an I. Okay, so let's go to I. We're going to read the I. Here it is. A request to inspect or copy a law enforcement recording must be in writing. A request identifies a law enforcement recording with reasonable particularity, as required by this section, only if the request provides the following information regarding the law enforcement activity: the date and approximate time of the law enforcement activity, the specific location where the law enforcement activity occurred, the name of at least one individual other than a law enforcement officer who was directly involved in the law enforcement activity. Okay, so perhaps these requests could have benefited from including the dates of those recordings that were being requested. But let's continue. A public agency may not deny or interfere with the exercise of the rights stated in subsection A if the public agency does not deny the request within a reasonable amount of time after the request is received. The public agency shall either, 1, provide the requested copies to the person making the request, or 2, allow the person to make copies. So you see, without a refusal or denial, you must allow the person. So the question is, were they denied? Well, level 1, Jody Williams, yes, denied. Now, what is this judge going to do with these motions? Except as provided in subsection E and subject to subsection J, a public agency that maintains or contracts for the maintenance of public records in an electronic data storage system shall make reasonable efforts to provide to a person making a request a copy of all disclosable data contained in the records. You hear that? That means that we don't want a compressed version, an altered version, a tampered version, a sanitized version. We don't want a version of these files in which the metadata has been wiped or redacted or obscured. The code says that You get all disclosable data contained in the records. So the actual factual copy. Okay. Now it goes on and on and on, and we're going to skip. Okay. And let's go back to this. Oh, NBCU. Okay, here we go. Number 3, an acknowledgement that the public trial exhibits are voluminous. NBCU requested that the court reporter prioritize requests for 1. Now here's back to your bullet point list. Any and all recorded police interviews with Richard Allen, video and audio. Well, isn't that the same from the Twist media? Okay, so all law enforcement interviews, interrogations with Richard Allen. 2, any and all recorded prison phone calls between Richard Allen, his wife, and mother. Ah, that also sounds familiar, right? Yeah, that's what's also being asked for there specifically. The court reporter responded as follows. I am in receipt of your request for a release of exhibits. Perhaps at some point in the future, media may be permitted to view the exhibits that are not sealed and confidential. But it would be after the filing of the transcript with the Indiana Court of Appeals as the exhibits are required for that purpose. Verbatim response, right? Verbatim. NBCU asked if there's a way to know when the transcript will be filed, and the court reporter replied, an entry for notice of filing of transcript will be made in the online docket when the transcript has been filed. Verbatim. Okay, this is all verbatim. As of the date of this filing, it does not appear any notice of appeal has been filed. After receiving the denial, NBCU, out of an abundance of caution, sent materially similar request to the Carroll County Clerk on January 24, 2025. Exhibit 2. The request to Carroll County sought priority access to the specific exhibits identified in the request to Allen County, along with a request for priority access to the 43-second cell phone video clip recorded by Liberty German. So that's another one for your bullet point list. Once again, we're asking for the exact same things. It almost seems like this is the same party filing 2 separate motions, right? The Carroll County Clerk responded on January 27, 2025, stating that the requested exhibits would have to be requested through Allen County, right? Same. These documents may or may not be available. That will be up to the judge. Because the Allen County Court reporter has denied the request, and because the Carroll County Clerk referred the NBCU to Allen County Court reporter, NBCU lacks further recourse without court intervention. Accordingly, NBCU requests leave to intervene in this action for the limited purpose of seeking access to public trial exhibits as requested, with priority access to the following exhibits. Any and all recorded police interviews with Richard Allen, video and audio. Any and all recorded prison phone calls between Richard Allen, wife and mother, and 43-second cell phone video clip. Okay. NBCU seeks intervention as a surrogate for the public. Now, you see, the difference here is they're not asking for Monica Walla, but it's essentially the same things are being asked for. Public's right to access. Motion to compel access to public trial exhibits. The Indiana General Assembly expressly recognizes Indiana's public policy that all persons are entitled to full and complete information regarding the affairs of government, the official acts of those who represent them as public officials and employees. We just read that, remember? The Indiana Supreme Court, in promulgating the rules on access to court records, ACR rules, likewise recognizes a presumption of openness and requires compelling evidence to overcome this presumption. ACR Rule 6, commentary, with the objective of providing maximum public accessibility to court records. Okay, access to court records, Rule 1, commentary. Apart from well-reasoned policy considerations, the public interest in accessing judicial records has constitutional dimensions. NBCU, as a member and representative of the public, is presumptively entitled to judicial documents and proceedings under the First and 14th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution. It is clear that the courts of this country recognize a general right to inspect and copy public records and documents, including judicial records and documents. The Indiana Constitution, similarly and arguably more so, protects public access and key news-gathering activities. Indiana Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, no law shall be passed restraining the free interchange of thought and opinion or restricting the right to speak, write, or print freely on any subject whatsoever. Recognizing that the Indiana Constitution more jealously protects freedom of speech guarantees than does the U.S. Constitution. In light of Indiana's constitutional protection of the free interchange of ideas, the Indiana Supreme Court has assumed that a material burden on news-gathering ability could violate the Indiana Constitution. So, you see, this is very, very similar to this twist filing. Considering Indiana's policy favoring public access and the constitutional implications of restricting access to judicial records, the public's and media's interest in accessing public trial exhibits is accorded substantial weight. The court should compel access to public trial exhibits. APRA governs the access to court records, such as public trial exhibits requested. ACR Rule 1A, ACR Rule 3A and B, court record means case records, which include any document created, collected, received, or maintained by a court agency, or clerk of court in connection with a particular case. APRA allows requests for inspection and or copying of public records so long as they are made with reasonable particularity and are not accepted from public access by statute. Okay. So this is all about a lot of repeating, a basic repeating of what we heard before, but this request is reasonably particular as it encompasses public trial exhibits. Yes, and they were specifically laid out in bullet points, right? As do the priority records, the court reporter correctly did not claim that any APRA exception precluded access. After all, the request itself excludes any exhibits maintained under seal, and the requested exhibits were already shown in open court during trial. Public agencies may not deny or interfere with the public's general right of access and must either, 1, provide the requested documents to the person making the request, or allow the person to make copies on the agency's or person's own equipment within a reasonable time after the request is received. The court reporter's refusal to provide access to the public trial exhibits until after the transcript is filed, at the earliest, is unreasonable and interferes with the public's right to access. There is no reason that the public trial exhibits cannot be copied and provided at the same time that the transcript is being prepared. So you see what it seems like, and this is what I've gotten from doing some reading, is that it seems like they are full of dookie, to put it nicely. FOS. That this whole excuse that you're not getting anything until appeal, it doesn't sound like it's the way things go. But as clearly as we've seen, this judge and this court, it's an absolute dictatorship. They do things the way they want or she wants, and whether it's legal or not. Remember, she used the cameras in the courtroom on the one occasion they were there to pressure Baldwin and Rozzi to step down. Supreme Court handed her ass back to her, right? Put them back in to the advocating for Richard Allen. And then what happened? Then Nicholas McClellan filed to have them found in contempt of court in an effort to have them not only stripped away from the defense of Richard Allen, but have them jailed. This has been a war footing from day one. And as I've reminded you at the beginning of the show, Nicholas McClellan very early on. I think it was November 2022. We're going to see it shortly. It's on deck for us to inspect. McClellan requested that all of this whole entire case be sealed from the very fucking beginning. This has been it's been a battle for transparency from day one. And let me ask you this. In what kind of justice would we see this happening? They want the public to have trust and faith in the system that is undergoing these motions, right? They want us to have faith in what's happening to Richard Allen, in faith in what's justice for Abby and Libby. How on earth are we supposed to have faith in this process when it's been a complete lack of transparency from before day one? And as I mentioned, it's been ISP, it's been Carroll County Sheriff's Office, it's been the family, it's been the judge, it's been the prosecutor, it's been the attorneys. Unfortunately, it appears that the public records may be held indefinitely absent court intervention. The problem is especially acute given that no notice of appeal has been filed as the date of this motion. Granting access to the requested exhibits in this case, which has garnered significant public attention. Yeah, you think so? Would promote transparency and trust in the judicial system. I would say so. Yeah, let me remove this so I can talk shit. I would say giving the public, giving the world the original Abby and Libby video, okay? The video that you claim shows the killer and records the voice of the killer, giving us the original bridge guy with metadata attached, untampered, unenhanced, unaltered, unredacted. Yeah, I think that would do a lot to instill confidence in what's on that recording. Hey, maybe all of us who are saying there's some problem here with Richard Allen, we might change our minds and agree with you. We might change our mind and say, you know what? Richard Allen is the lone wolf killer of Abby and Libby because you've convinced us, because you've given us the recording of him on the bridge approaching the girls, and it's his voice and it's his face and it's him. You want to convince us it's Richard Allen? Give us the damn video. No? How about give us Liberty's phone dump? Oh, how about this? Even better. Give us the entire family's phone dumps. Prove to us that Kelsey was where she says she was when she says she was. No. But we'll never have it. We'll never have what it would take for us to gain the confidence that the right things have been done. Hey, and you can't give us the 70 days that you've already deleted. Conveniently. Oh, and you can't give us the recording of Dan Doolin taking the tip from Richard Allen that he was there, as you say, from 1:30 to 3:30, when he says, no, I was there from 12 to 1:30. Shit, you can't even give us the actual handwritten notes that Doolin allegedly took during that alleged exchange. But we're supposed to believe that Kathy Shank magically found this tip in a box, in a drawer, at the perfect time for these people to maintain control over this investigation before a crucial election in which they risked losing absolute control over this investigation. And conveniently, her daughter parades around here saying how she is honor bound to Ron Logan, to protect and defend the honor of Ron Logan, because she grew up over there and spent many days over there, which makes you think, well, how the hell did Kathy Shank bring her there? So you're telling me that the person who finds the tip that gets Richard Allen just happens to be a friend of Ron Logan? Just like Brad Holder was, just like Tony Klein was, just like Gary Kurtz was, just like the Snowburgers were, just like a whole bunch of fucking people were malingering around at Ron Logan's. You're telling me that Kathy Shank's daughter is one of them? But you want us to have faith. You shouldn't have deleted the 70 days of evidence. Shouldn't have deleted Dan Doolin's alleged recording of this interaction with Richard Allen or the handwritten note. Shouldn't have kicked the FBI off the case. Shouldn't have killed Greg Ferenczi or Stephanie Thompson. You see, we don't believe a thing the families ever said. We don't believe a thing the ISPs ever said. We don't believe a thing Nicholas McClelland's ever said. And we don't believe a thing that this judge has ever done has been correct. Now, how are you going to fix all that? Anyway, there's some receipts. Okay, so I'll just show these real quick. It's no big deal, but here are some of the receipts that they provided showing their efforts. So remember, this is NBC. Okay, the Exhibit 1 here shows that Jody Williams says, Smarty Pants, Jody Williams, Jody.Williams at AllenSuperiorCourt.us for all of you out there. It's right on the screen there. Okay, Jody.Williams at AllenSuperiorCourt.us. Okay, from NBC, or to NBC, Smarty Pants says, an entry for notice of filing of transcript will be made in the online docket when the transcript has been filed. Okay. Well, actually, let's go backwards because this is in reverse chronology. Okay. Let's see. There you go. Hey, Miss Williams, FOIA request. Under the Indiana Access to Public Records, Dateline NBC is requesting copies of public records that were presented as evidence of the recent trial. Richard Allen was convicted and has been sentenced. Understanding that some records remain under seal under Judge Gold's order, we would like to prioritize the release of any and all recorded police interviews. We want them. Any and all recorded prison phone calls. We want them. Okay. The requested information is in the public interest and critical to the public's understanding of the case against Richard Allen and his defense. Indiana Access to Public Records Act requires a response time within 7 business days. We'd be very grateful. Okay? Please let us know if you require us to supply computer drives. If you deny any or all of this request, please cite each specific exemption justifying the refusal to release the information and notify me of the appeal procedures available to me under law. Okay, that's very specific. Okay, now let's check this out. Here's what she wrote back. Good afternoon. I am in receipt of your request for records of exhibits or release of exhibits. Perhaps at some point in the future, media may be permitted to view the exhibits that are not sealed and confidential pursuant to Indiana rules of public access. Whoops. Or court order at a time and date the court determines, but it would be after the filing of the transcript with the Indiana Court of Appeals, as the exhibits are required for that purpose. Thank you. You notice what she didn't do? She didn't give the specific exemption justifying the refusal to release the information, and she didn't notify the appeal procedures available to him under law. You notice how she just totally glossed over his specific request? She don't give a fuck. I mean, let's be real here. All right. And Exhibit 2. Okay, let's look at the Exhibit 2 that was attached to that. Let's see. We're going for reverse order again. There we go. So this is the same request that this attorney for NBC sent over to Carroll County. Okay, so this is to CC clerk, Carroll County clerk, at carrollcountybin.gov. Sharon Milburn, Carroll County Clerk. Oh, I misspoke. It wasn't V. That's a Y. Okay, carrollcountyin.gov. So forgive me for that, but it's there. You'll see it when we get to it. Next page. But to Carroll County, Mr. Balding requested, under the Indiana Access to Public Records, Dateline NBC is requesting copies of public records that were presented as evidence in the trial of Richard Allen. Richard Allen was convicted and has been sentenced. Understanding that some records remain sealed under Judge Gold's order, we would like you to provide the 2 recorded police interviews with Richard Allen, video. The recorded prison phone calls between Richard Allen and his wife and mother, audio. And number 3, the 43-second cell phone video clip by Liberty German. So you see, this narrow Freedom of Information Act request is in the public interest because it is critical to understanding the case against Richard Allen and understanding his defense. So you see what's going on here? There's a war, okay? There's a battle right now. There's a battle. And the battle is for transparency. Isn't it astonishing that this battle has to take place? Anyway, just a moment. All right, and we got another, because I don't know if you, see, some of you guys are this is this is not an effort to impeach any of you, but some of you guys have a very short attention span. Do you remember this? Okay, who remembers this? This was only a couple months ago, right? This was only a couple months ago when Miss Andrea Burkhart, filed this motion for leave to intervene for public records. Remember? All right. So she said here, she said, I'm an attorney licensed in Washington and Oregon and a legal commentator on a variety of platforms. Once again, let me bring this down to say this. Remember that all of this predicating with street creds or curriculum vitae or all of these saying I'm media, I'm important media, I'm this, I'm that, I'm an attorney, I have a big YouTube channel, I'm Dateline NBC. None of that really matters. None of that at all whatsoever should matter in this request, because it could be little old Profi Poo sitting in his living room, or it could be you sitting on your couch. It doesn't matter who you are. You are public, okay? John Q. Public. That's what matters. So we'll skip that. I don't care who she is. I care here. What is she asking for? Okay. So she's saying, despite overwhelming public interest in the case, yeah, like I said, to put it mildly, this court has repeatedly denied requests to broadcast this trial to the public, entering orders denying broadcast request on October 27, 2023, and May 16, 2024. The court also denied a request by news media to record court proceedings by order dated September 11, 2024. Finally, the court denied a request for recording of court proceedings by Wish TV by order dated October 16, 2024. So that's 4 freaking orders denying the recording. And that's just in 2024. There were more before that. We're going to show you momentarily. The trial in the above captioned matter began on October 14, 2024, with jury selection in Allen County, Indiana. The trial has advanced to the presentation of evidence beginning on Friday, October 18, 2024. Because the orders denying broadcasting and recording of the proceedings limit the scope and quality of information publicly available, and that's intentional, Andrea. Keep in mind, it's all been intentional. She didn't want you to see this. Listen, can we be honest here? There's a very, very clear reason that this judge blocked access to this trial. And no, it wasn't because Wish TV or Court TV or someone fucked up and recorded something wrong on one occasion. No, it wasn't that. That's all lies. Okay, that's all excuses. She didn't want the world to see the railroading of Richard Allen. Bottom line, the lack of evidence, the bullshit case that was presented to the jury, again, and on and on and on. As a result of the trial's inaccessibility to the public, numerous members of the public and media have likewise had to travel to the small community of Delphi in an effort to witness the trial on purpose or in person. With the court's allocation of reserved seats to the families of the victims, the defense, and the media, there are 24 seats in the courtroom available to the public. Far more members of the public wish to attend than the courtroom can accommodate, which has resulted in the long queues outside the courthouse beginning as soon as the preceding night. For example, when opening statements were scheduled to be presented on Friday, October 18, I arrived at approximately 3:30 a.m., and I was already approximately number 22 in line. I have further been informed and believe that members of the local community who have been personally affected by the crime and would like to attend are discouraged from doing so because of the crowds. I am aware that Rule Number 5 of the Indiana Rules of Criminal Procedure requires the trial court to maintain an electronic recording or stenographic record of all oral evidence and testimony, rulings, admitting or rejecting evidence, objections, and any other oral matters occurring during the proceeding. The rule requires either a printed transcript or the electronic recording to be produced and maintained as a court record for 55 years in felony cases, such as the present matter. Under Rule 3B of the Indiana Rules on Public Access to Court Records, or Access to Court Records, such transcription or recording constitutes a case record because it's an item created or maintained by a court in connection with a particular case. And a case record is a court record under Rule 3A. Furthermore, under Rule 3F, the Indiana Rules on Access to Court Proceedings, public access includes the ability to both inspect and copy a court record. Accordingly, public access is denied if the court does not permit the public to obtain a copy of the transcript or audio recording of trial proceedings. I'm further aware that under Rule 4 of the Indiana Rules on Access to Court Records are accessible to the public subject to specific exemptions enumerated in Rule 5 that do not apply to transcription or recordings of the present trial. Under Rule 4D, while the court may manage access to the audio recording of proceedings to avoid substantial interference with the resources or normal operation of the court, this provision may not operate to deny any person the right to access a court record. By this motion, I am requesting copies of the transcription or audio recording of each day of the trial proceeding in this matter, beginning October 14, 2024, and continuing until its conclusion with the verdict or other resolution. Recognizing that providing the copies will require the use of the court time and resources, I'm happy to receive the copies in digital format through an electronic medium such as email or through cloud-based information storage providers such as Dropbox or Google Drive. Alternatively, I would be happy to provide thumb drives to the court in which the digital files can be copied. Based on my experience in obtaining and transmitting court records in various formats in multiple jurisdictions, I believe that this would impose only a minimal burden on court staff, as it would require little more than dragging and dropping the digital file already created to the storage medium and notifying me that the file is available to be picked up. I am aware that Rule 2.17 of the Indiana Judicial Conduct Rules affords the court discretion in deciding whether to allow the independent recording or photographing of the courtroom and broadcasting televising or digital streaming of the trial. And I'm not requesting to revisit or reconsider the court's order denying the media's request to allow cameras into the courtroom. However, I believe that permitting the public to witness the trial through the transcription or audio recordings of the proceedings will decrease the distractions in the courtroom and improve the dignity of the proceedings consistent with Rule 2.173A by decreasing demand for access to the courtroom, and will further alleviate the burden on the court and the community resulting from competition for limited public seating that is necessary for direct access to information about the trial. And remember what I told you guys. Not only was it chaos and shit show out there outside of that courtroom, totally disrespecting the memories of Abby and Libby, but there was an intentional effort that was set underway by the family members and the prosecution friendly people to fill the line up with all of themselves to prohibit access from anyone who was independent or who may have been favoring the defense from being able to witness the trial. Okay? So think about it. Not only were there a limited 24 seats, there was preferential access by prosecution-friendly, shilling-ass pieces of shit to go to the front of the line and be the first in. There were also there was an intense effort by the community, and by that I mean by the family members and the people trying to keep out the unbiased parties. There was an intense effort to fill the line up with prosecution shills in order to keep out any of the fair-minded individuals or the defense-friendly people who might want to visit the trial and to come out and report from a fair and balanced perspective. And it really did happen. How do I know? Because I had about 5 people there. Okay, not Burkhart. I had about 5 of my own friends there who told me every single day what was going on out in that fucking line. And I'm telling you right now, there was an intense effort to keep out anybody fair. They wanted to fill it up with all of them to keep us out of that courtroom. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, because it's fact. In her argument here, she says this will further benefit the community by freeing up the limited courtroom seating for those local residents who have been traumatized by this crime and for whom personal attendance at the trial would be healing. Right, but this judge didn't allow this. She allowed this to be a complete fucking circus. Listen, once again, I'm going to pull it down again. I've already put on my channel for you the recordings of drunk-ass Marv vomiting her guts out, partying outside of that courthouse. Mm-hmm. You know what? She went on my channel and tried to strike down all those videos because she doesn't want you to see her drunk ass disrespecting the memories of Abby and Libby. But that's what was happening. It was a party out there by these whack jobs. So not only did they threaten to kill us, not only did they dox us, not only did they threaten our family members, okay, and put our homes and all the shit they did to us, they went over there and they shit on Abby and Libby's grave. partying outside of that courthouse, getting shit-faced drunk. And in the bars. Because I didn't tell you yet, but there was a bunch of others of these fucking troll farms who were partying in the bars. I don't have a video of it though. But they were snorting lines, smoking weed, getting shit-faced drunk, and partying in a little shit bars in Delphi. All for the memory of Abby and Libby. With the commencement of the evidentiary phase of the trial, the court has admitted several exhibits proffered by the state and the defense. On October 1st, a coalition of news media organizations filed a motion to inspect public trial exhibits. By order dated October 16, 2024, the court granted permission to the media to view the trial exhibits at the conclusion of each trial day for 15 minutes. The order makes no provision for any member of the public to view the exhibits on the same terms as the access granted to the media. During the trial, paper exhibits have been published to the jury by simply handing them to the exhibit or copies of it to review. These exhibits cannot be seen by the public seated in the gallery of the courtroom. Digital exhibits have been published on a large screen that is oriented to face the jury box. This screen has not been visible to some of the seats in the gallery. Consequently, the only way for members of the public attending the trial to be assured of their ability to view the exhibits that have been introduced is through public access similar to that afforded to the media attendees. I was present in the courtroom at the conclusion of the trial day on October 18, 2024, and I observed that the proceeding for viewing the exhibits was to place the exhibits on a table in front of the jury box and invite the media into the well to view them for the allotted time period. I am informed and believe that a member of the public attempted to enter the well to view the trial exhibits on Saturday, October 19, 2024, at the conclusion of trial day on the same terms as the media and was prohibited from doing so by the court, which ordered this individual to leave. The Indiana rules on access to court records establish no basis for distinguishing between the media and the public in affording access to court records. Likewise, it has been generally held that the First Amendment does not guarantee the press a constitutional right of special access to information not available to the public generally. All persons have access to court records as provided by Rule 2A. The First Amendment right of access to criminal trials is a right held by the public, not the media. Again, the right of access is a right held by the public, not the media. It is my intention to view the exhibits under the same conditions as those afforded to the media. By doing so imposes no additional burden on the court, as I would simply enter the well to view the exhibits, the same as the members of the media are allowed to do. This court's prior exclusion of a member of the public from the same viewing opportunity deters me from doing so out of fear that I will be banned from the courtroom and prevented from continuing to report on the events of trial. By this motion, I am requesting to modify the court's order of October 16, 2024 to permit members of the public who have obtained seats allocated to the public for trial day to view the exhibits on the same terms and under the same conditions as access afforded to the media. I have reviewed the published order denying writ of mandamus and prohibition filed by the Supreme Court of Indiana on October 11, 2023, under Supreme Court case number 23SOR302. That proceeding concerned the omission of court records from the chronological case summary in the present cause. While ruling that the petition was moot because subsequent to the petition's filing, this court restored the omitted items to the chronological case summary and made them publicly accessible. The Supreme Court nevertheless reviewed the requirements to seal court records from public access, stating in its conclusion, "We expect all Indiana courts to comply with these rules." In the present matter, the entire case has not been sealed pursuant to Rule 5A and the requested materials, audio recordings, or transcriptions of the trial proceedings required under Criminal Procedure Rule 5 and the exhibits admitted at trial do not fall under any of the enumerated documents that may be sealed pursuant to Rule 5B of the Indiana Access or Rules on Access to Court Records. Consequently, the materials may only be withheld from the public after following the notice and hearing procedure required by Rule 6 and based upon filing findings that the public interest will be substantially served by prohibiting access or dissemination of court record will create a significant risk of substantial harm to the requester or other persons or general public, or a substantial prejudicial effect to ongoing proceedings cannot be avoided without prohibiting public access. No such proceeding has occurred in the present case, and in any event, the required findings cannot be made because both the trial proceedings and the exhibits are already available to the media and the public in attendance. And as she's just closing here, that I respectfully submit that this request must be granted under the applicable rules cited herein and the Supreme Court's order. I further submit that this request is consistent with strong societal reasons for allowing public access to court records. Okay. Now, blah, blah, blah. What do you think this judge did with this? Let's be real here. Come on. What do you think she did with this? Obviously, only an idiot would think that she would do the right thing with this. I mean, this is Francis C. Gull, right? This is Fran Gull. This is Franz Gull. I guarantee you, she barely even read it. She barely even read it and outright denied it immediately. Yes, of course. Because not only does she hate Richard Allen, she hates the attorneys and she hates those who want some sort of just outcome to this. So she hates Andrea Burkhart. She hates Bob Mata. She hates the prof. She hates all of you in the chat. She hates Richard Allen. She hates Kathy Allen. She hates the daughter. She hates the mother. She hates everyone. She's just a hateful bitch. Like I said, like I've said so many times, go back to this, okay? I've said so many times, this is Jody Williams. You don't think that Jody Williams is a reflection of Judge Gull's inner feelings? I mean, hey, let me read you from the Frank Shyster. You remember this? Okay, I see a lot of individuals wanting to file FOIA requests for evidence, etc. Here to advise everyone that I've already spoken with that guy. I've already spoken to Judge Gull's court reporter, Miss Williams. She advised me no evidence, exhibits, etc. will be released without a court order. And someone said, well, what date did Jody advise you that? Monday, the 23rd, December 23rd, Monday, December 23rd. She ain't releasing shit. But see, this is why. Listen, this is Jody's attitude. She's seen all the docs. Richard Allen is guilty as sin. She's 100% sure. She wants hard. Hold on, let's back that up. Seen all the docs? What docs have you seen? How does the court reporter see all the docs? Well, because we got to break that down step by step. Wait up. Do you mean discovery? Why have you? How on earth has the assistant to the judge seen all the court docs? I mean, all the discovery docs. Because I thought not even the judge is supposed to see all the discovery. I thought the discovery is for the attorneys and the prosecutor. Okay, so first of all, the first question is, how the fuck have you seen all the docs? Okay, secondly, we've seen all the discovery too. We don't think Richard Allen is guilty of sin. Actually, there's no evidence of Richard Allen other than the bullet examination that this joke Oberg did, right? Remember, no DNA, no blood on the clothes, no digital forensics, no blood in the car, no weapon at home. 0, 0, 0 in Richard Allen. If you've seen all the docs and you're 100% sure Richard Allen is guilty of sin, how? Because I think the only docs you should have seen are those that have been filed as motions with the court, right? So something don't smell right about that first half of all this. But then the second half, it even gets more rich. Because this is before trial, well before trial. She wants harsh punishment to happen to him and was saying how she hopes Gull keeps him in Westville because that's where he belongs. Whoa, shit. Oh, now the truth comes out. See, now we know why he was in Westville to begin with. Remember, we just covered this BS safekeeping order. This whole, I titled it Discovering Discovery. Wasn't that it? Was that it? In which we went over the bull snot that Leatherby and Judge Benjamin Diener pulled. Remember, they held a critical stage proceeding that they are arguing was not critical, in which they were determining that they were going to place him in Westville. Leatherby handed Diener a draft of a safekeeping request. Diener said, nah, that ain't good. Diener wrote a safekeeping request. He handed it back to Leatherby. Leatherby signed it and handed it back to Diener, who then ruled on it, all outside of the presence of his attorney when they knew that he had retained counsel. Both the prosecutor and Leatherby knew that. And then immediately after placing him in Westville, he recuses himself because he knew that what they pulled was some good old boy corrupt shit. And listen, and now do you wonder why? He's in Westville because that's where he belongs. Well, now you know. See, now you know why he was marched around like Hannibal Lecter. Why did they march him around shackled like that in the shock vest with the shock belt, the shock collar, and the shock and the shock? It should be obvious. It was PR. It's to make him look like a monster, to punish him before trial. He was being punished the moment he was arrested. He was punished from the very beginning. Why? Because the judge and Jody Williams felt that he belongs there because he's 100% guilty as sin. So what they do? They put him where they felt he belonged, without a judge, without a jury, without any due process. They put him where they wanted him to belong, and then they use the optics of that to brainwash the public. In other words, to influence the potential future jurors that he was a monster, he was guilty, he killed those girls, and he's your target. And remember, I did that show in which we clearly went through very thoroughly how the optics of all that worked. Because it's known, if you can convince the public of someone's guilt, it's a twofold approach. You make that person look like the monster to the potential future jurors, Okay, that's the PR campaign. To the community, to the potential future jurors, you pump that message. Guilty, 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 guilty. And then the flip side of that, you paint those victims as the absolute most, in the most beautiful, innocent light that you can. And you make those victims look so innocent and so angelic and so heroic and so perfect, flawless. You make those families the absolute ultimate victims of this monster, and you make those victims the most flawless little angels. And you do that whole scheme, and you pump it out there for 7 years, and you're going to get your conviction. And that's exactly what happened. So don't ever question why he was put in Westville. He was put in Westville because the judge felt that's where he belongs. He's 100% guilty. He's guilty as sin. Like Holman said, and I'm gonna prove it. All right. But that's the question for you. Why all these FOIA requests? Blanket denials. Okay, blanket denials. Guys, I've been I don't know if you're on Twitter at all, but everyone should be on Twitter, because on Twitter it's been absolutely shocking to see the number of people who have who've been putting in FOIA requests. All right, let me and see, even McClellan is blanket denied. So let's paint a picture here. There are several individuals who have been consistently sending FOIA requests. Okay, it's not just NBC, Dateline. It's not just this latest one, Twist Media. It's not just the Prof. It's not just All Eyes. It's not just this one. It's this one. There have been so many people sending in FOIA requests. FOIA, 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 FOIA. They're sending them to sheriffs. They're sending them to McClellan. They're sending them to Jody Williams and Fran Gull. Blanket denial. Blanket denial FOIA request. Okay. These motions to intervene, guarantee you, blanket denial. So let's go back in time and talk a bit. Let's see. Oh, man. All right, let's see. So I want you to write down some dates if you're here, because we've covered the ones we've covered. But let's go back to the very beginning. I want you to listen to something that's very interesting, because I went and I took stock. All right. November 21st, 2022. Think back. Okay. November 21st, 2022. The media intervenes in support of a petition for bail, signaling an early push for transparency in the legal process. The media entities file a memorandum seeking public access to crucial legal documents. That's November 21st. Media intervenes. November 29th, the court partially denied the state's request to limit public access, but denies the media intervener's motion to intervene. Okay. December 2nd, 2022, the court issues an order prohibiting dissemination of information pending further hearings, showing the early control of the information coming out of this case. February 21st, 2023, the court granted the media interveners renewed motion, acknowledging the significance of public access. Now, it's going to get infuriating. Because on June 8, 2023, the murder sheet filed a motion for public access to court records. And honestly, if you want to know my true thoughts, I think they were told to do so by the judge. I think she said, hey, murder sheet, you go ahead and file a motion and I'll approve it. Because what happens? Murder sheet asked for it in June of 23. And within 2 weeks, she makes over 100 documents public. On March 22nd, 2024, she denied the request to record the court proceedings. And that catches us up with these, okay? Now, on October 30th, 2023, Allen filed a petition for writ of mandamus and prohibition, marking the initiation of the appeals process. On November 16, 2023, the Indiana Broadcasters Association and other media entities submit an amicus curiae brief highlighting the broader media support for transparency. On November 17, 2023, the Media Coalition's motion to appear as amicus is granted. And on December 11, 2023, the Indiana Supreme Court denies Allen's petition, emphasizing the burden of proof and finality of the decision. Now, on one hand, media organizations did make some strides, especially Murder Sheet. But like I said, because what we know of Murder Sheet is that they are always the media darlings of the Indiana State Police, having been the PR outlet for the Indiana State Police anytime a leak is determined necessary. And since the sentencing, they've been the primary outlet for the in addition to the Carroll County Comet, Murder Sheet and the Carroll County Comet have been the primary outlets for the PR efforts of the state subsequent to sentencing. So we've had Brian Harshman, we've had Cicero, we've had who else? Vito. We've had Nicholas McClelland, Tobe Lesenby. I mean, they've all come out and done their narrative pushing through Murder Sheet and the Carroll County Comet. Even the juror, oddly enough, who came forward, oddly enough, for some inexplicable reason, came through the Murder Sheet. Isn't that odd enough? Isn't that odd? Trust me, there are no coincidences. This is Delphi. So don't be fooled here. Don't be fooled. Nothing is by chance here. This is all a pipeline. Anyhow, interesting though with the Murder Sheet, because I want to show you. Let's see how much I can make happen here. Let me pull this up for you so that I can look at it as you look at it. Because this is interesting here. And for those of you who can't see it, it's too small. Trust me, I'll make it I'll make it understandable by just talking about the aspects that need to be talked about. So what you'll see here is that June 8th. So this is the June 8th Murder Sheet filing in which they attempt to intervene, requesting access to court records. And remember, this is where I said I guarantee you the judge told them, file this and I'll give it to you, because they are the darlings. She wanted them to have it. In other words, she knew it was time to unleash a little of these, due to statutory obligation. Look, this is not, before I continue, this is not kindness on the part of the judge or transparency. This is obligation. Okay, she knew that this was obligated. So she figured this is an opportunity to prop up Murder Sheet. Remember how they do things. Remember that before this whole thing went down, Jerry Holman was propped up by Doug Carter. He was promoted. And remember, before this whole thing went down, Judge Gall was propped up and given an awarded position. Okay, she was propped up before this. And this attempt, knowing she was obligated to release this batch of documents because so much time had passed and there was a lot of pressure coming from without, they decided this will be a good opportunity to give some street creds to Murder Sheet and to prop up Murder Sheet. So I believe what they did is they tapped Murder Sheet and said, "Hey, go ahead and file this motion to intervene, and we'll go ahead and give it to you." So that's what happened. Anyway, as a result of that, it's over 100 documents were released. Okay. And this can all be found because this was all released as a batch at that time. Okay, in late June. Okay. And you'll see here, part of it was we got this document, which was the state's response to defense's emergency motion to modify safekeeping. Okay. So we got that. And remember, as part of that, remember I've said what they've tried to do with Allen is make it seem like it was no big deal. He was treated perfect. He was treated, remember I said before in the last show, I said he was treated better than anyone else at Westville. He was treated great. Never mind how he looked. He was treated great. Okay. But this says, this included in this one was the John Gallipo affidavit, letting you know how well Richard Allen is being treated. Oh, he's housed in a large cell. It's standard size. He has a bed with a mattress. Oh yeah, there's a bed frame on the floor. He's in a type of cell that's for his protection. He's offered time to shower 3 times a week, which means he's being treated well. He has 3 sets of clothing per week, which means he's treated well. He has commissary privileges and extra shirts and shoes, and he's not required to wear the same clothes for all these days. And he has access to clean clothing, and he has an electronic tablet where he can do things. And this is an amenity, and he's got recreation time. And he's seen by medical personnel and mental health counselors, who tell him to confess and what to confess to. Yeah. So you see this is, we started getting this. We got this one here. This is the Diener recusal. Okay, remember this was all under seal. But you got your Diener recusal here, order appointing Fran fucking Gull. Yeah. There you go. See, this is where the bamboozle began. They put him in Westville, and then they go ahead and they put Fran Gull at the helm. And remember, she don't care how it looks. That was the whole reason I'm putting her. She didn't care how it looks. All right. Anyway, there's a bunch of other stuff, but what I really wanted to show you as part of this, because there's a bunch of this crap. This was all that stuff, but I wanted to show you how McClellan was solely responsible. Let's see if I can find the page. I lost track of the page here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let me grab you this one. I just want you to see for yourself how this has been an ongoing effort. Whoops, don't remove it. All right. This says verified request to prohibit public access to a court record. Listen, question for you out there. Question for you. When was Richard Allen arrested and when was he taken into custody of Tobe Leazenby DOC and then put into DOC? So I can't even keep my mind straight here. Let's pull those up. I think I have those ready. I mean, there's just so much here. Let me see. Oh, that's not it. What am I doing? Oh, I goofed around. It's not important to my point. This is what's important. Okay, let's get to this. All right. Actually, I'm going to look at it here because this is very important and I don't want to mess it up. Okay. Let's see. Am I FAFO? Yeah, I know. I'm finding out. It's hard to do presentations. Okay. No, where I'm trying to get to though is this Jesus. I don't know why I had it. I pulled up the wrong document. It doesn't matter. Look, my point here. Let's get back to the point. My point is look at the date here. This is absolutely illustrative of what I'm trying to show you here. Listen. Okay. Back to Kathy Allen hiring a lawyer. Remember, the whole thing we were going over is that on the 26th, he was arrested, right? On the 27th, she hired a lawyer. All right. Now look here. Look here. This was filed or authored. This was authored on the 27th. The very same day. Okay. Filed October 28th, 2022. So this is essentially, this is from day one. This is my point. This is day one. Verified request to prohibit public access. Now comes Nicholas McClellan, Carroll County attorney, being duly sworn, blah, blah, blah. Request the court to prohibit public access to the charging information, to the probable cause affidavit, and other court documents filed in this cause of action. And why? Why does he say? Oh, well, one, the public interest will be secured by sealing of the record. Well, you know what's funny about that? Look, nothing is by chance here. What they go and do, they go and read the code and see what the exceptions are, and they cite those exceptions when they want to be the exception. And that's what happened, because one of the elements that's cited in the code is if it's in the public's interest or to secure the public's best interest, blah, 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 right? We read that earlier at the beginning of the show. So what does he do? The very first point here, number one, public interest is secured by sealing of the record. Number two, dissemination of the information contained in the record will create a serious and imminent danger to the public interest. So that's more of the same. That's doubling down. That's exaggerating. Okay, it's adding adjectives. Okay. Number three, that any prejudicial effect created by dissemination of the information cannot be avoided by any reasonable method other than sealing. That there is substantial probability that sealing of the record will be effective in protecting the public interest. So see, so far we're up to 4 citing that exception of public interest. The number 5, that public interest will be substantially served by prohibiting access for reason that the release of information might damage an ongoing murder investigation. Now we're at number 5. And now, if you go back to the code, remember we read it in the beginning, another aspect was a risk of substantial harm to the requester. That's the other exception in the code. So what does this dickhead do? Number 6, access or dissemination of the court record will create a significant risk of substantial harm. Okay, so let's go back. Hold on. Because I'm so thorough that I want to be very thorough with you. I would never want to mislead you or make you think I'm drawing inferences or illusions or anything that. Okay, let's go back. All right. Well, it's kicking my ass trying to find this. Let's see. Um, Take my time. Thank you. I'd like to take my time because I don't want to miss it. Okay, so let's pull it up. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh shit, it's driving me nuts. I can't keep going. But needless to say, okay, this right here. Let's recalibrate the context here. We're at October 27th, 2022. And McClellan is asking that the entire record be prohibited from public access, i.e., sealed. All right? No, what's funny? October 22nd. I'm sorry, October of 2022. Like I said, from day one. And it never stopped. Okay, it never stopped. Look at this. He does it again. Okay, that's October 27th, 2022. And then once again, he asks again and again and again and again. And what's the whole thing about? What's this all about? It's all about the complete denial of transparency. It's never changed. And this, I don't know why I don't have this ready. Let's see. I thought I had already made this available. Ooh, let's see. This is already should be here. Let's see if I find it. No, I got to drop it. Okay. Yeah, I can tell I'm losing people's interest because it's a little boring here, but it's concerning to me. It's concerning that from October 27th, this is this goes back. Okay. Oh damn, I didn't want that to happen. Come on. Suddenly having a problem even functioning here. Let's see. Save. I just want to download. Okay, I just want to download. Thank you. Okay. And I just want to send it to this computer. Oh, man. Thank you. Same with this one. This one download. And I just want to send to the computer. There it is. Because I need to show you this just for thoroughness. Okay. Okay, let's do it. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see. There we go. I'm just trying to show you all of the efforts that have been made for transparency here. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is another one here. This was that October of 23 writ in the Supreme Court. Now, this was a failure. Okay, but this was where it was begged for. Look at the bullet points here, A, B, C, D, and E. Asking for the Franks Memorandum, all of these October 25th documents, and the October 26th motion for continuance. Okay. And here are the exhibits from that. Whoops. There we go. You'll see the exhibits here. Check it out. We're going to skip through all of this because this was the case file up until that point, which you don't need to see. But we'll start with there. So this is the Exhibit B. These were the emergency motion to modify safekeeping. Okay. And then see here. This is what I showed you earlier. This is just referencing it. The murder sheet getting what they wanted. Oddly enough. Okay. And this was the judgment there. So it's again illustrative of the struggle. And like I said, they did. Murder sheet was awarded exactly what they asked for. So here it is. And now what's here? This was the gag order. Okay. This is your gag order. Remember the date on this. December 2nd, 2022. That's your gag order. Okay, and these are the 118 documents right here that were released to murder sheet. You can't make this shit up with these people, man. All right. Oh, this is your Frank's motion. Okay. Frank's motion. And obviously, that was released. Oddly enough, though, because you might remember that that Frank's motion started a shitstorm. Hey, might as well bring this up. This looks pretty interesting. Yeah, no watermark because this is the original document. Okay, so let's see. We're going to, what page is this? Okay, here we go. I want to show you this because remember, there has been so much trauma associated with this case. Before I get into that, let me say this. As if that wasn't enough, okay? So as if all of that wasn't enough, remember what happens. Set off the series of events triggered by the release of the Frank's memorandum. It was an absolute shitstorm that erupted here in the Delphi community, out here in social media. And you may not realize it at this time, but trust me, in time, the story will be told and it will be known that it was 100% the side of the troll farm responsible for it all. Yes, it was. Hey, drop their names in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. This was 1000% a shitstorm that erupted in the troll farm community. What do I mean by that? The state-friendly peoples. Okay. And what set off this shitstorm? The Frank's memorandum. Immediately after the Frank's memorandum hit these streets, first thing that happened is the troll farm went on an insane rage against a channel that was highly focused on the white supremacists or the white nationalist contingent in Indiana and the Flora fires. You know whose channel I'm talking about. They issued her 15 copyright strikes back to back. She's still gone. She's still gone. She's still gone. Not only did they do that, they made sure to interfere with her university with allegations of a inappropriate nature to try to ruin her real life. Immediately after that, after they took her down, they all created the crime scene photo leak disaster. What do I mean by that? Well, there was an initial situation that unfolded among a handful of people. Okay. A man killed himself, and then they saw fit to dump these photos in a Discord to set off the entire community and send it all into a tailspin. Okay? And when all that happened, everybody pointed the fingers at the attorneys for Richard Allen. So what did they do? Look at the order of the way things happened. Frank's memorandum comes out. These very people who are at the center of it, they tried to take down the main voice that was exposing them all prior to that release, their number one threat. Then they tried to take the attorneys away that were at the center of producing the Frank's memorandum. Then they tried to take all of us ancillary individuals with the channels down as well. And yes, these individuals you're mentioning, there were plants. So what the plants did, the plants were paid. Okay, let's be clear here. The plants were paid by these people. So the objective was terrorize. Remember, they're domestic terrorists by nature. They're covering up the murders of two little girls to protect themselves. So what happened is, when this shit hit too close to home, they put things in motion. They set the wheels into motion to destroy and terrorize all of the people out here on social media that were a threat to their organization. Then they set out to destroy the attorneys who had revealed these tidbits. And then they sought to destroy the law enforcement officers, which is why you saw Todd Click come under attack. One day, that whole story will be told, and your minds will be blown. Look, this is something that Rick Snay and I, coming together and talking, has really shed light upon. Because what we realized is who was behind setting everyone against each other. Not only do they set you all against each other, they go after your real lives. So what did they do? They went after that individual's university career. What did they do to the other? They went after to another's teaching career. What did they do after me? They came after my career. What did they do after Rick Snay? They went after his job and his wife. What they do to Noe? They tried to put him back in jail. They're still trying to put him back in jail. And you understand what they've done to this community? What they do, they divide, they conquer, they destroy lives. They go after your employers, your family, your children, your lovers. And now that we've all come together and discussed it, we now know who was behind it all, who they're connected to, who they're trying to protect. We know what it is. That's why I talk with Alex Voorhees and we bring him on from time to time and we tell you about the fucking CPS, white supremacist, pedophile, scumbag, terrorists that are behind all of this. And hopefully someday the feds will set their sights on this, in this direction, and clean house. Because I'm telling this, they've already got knocks on the doors. If you wonder why some of them have gone away, well, I'll tell you why some of them have gone away. Some of them have gotten that knock on the door with the SWAT team outside, which is why they're gone. But like I'm saying, you bring it back, okay? You bring it on back. What set all this into motion? Frank's memorandum. Because it was bad before then. Remember, it's been bad from day one. But when that Frank's memorandum dropped, it was too much. It was too much. It was like a grenade, right? It was like a grenade thrown into the cesspool, and it just it erupted in a shitstorm behind the scenes, and they thought that by terrorizing us all, we'd all go away and all of this would be buried. It's why they tried to pull Baldwin and Rozzi off this case. Trust me. Do you think they tried to pull Baldwin and Rozzi off this case because they were vigorously defending Richard Allen? Baldwin and Rozzi were doing just fine until that Frank's memorandum dropped. Anyway, so I guess the other documents I wanted to show you from this particular set here. Let's see, where was I? Oh man, I think I've lost it here. And trust me, I guess what I'm getting at is when we look at this in retrospect, that's when we see that Flora is a vital part of this. Because trust me, that young lady who was doing that work, she was highly focused on Flora and on these people. And if Flora was not a part of all this, there'd be no reason to go after her the way that they did. So the fact that they went after destroying her platform and deplatforming her as they did successfully tells me that Flora is intimately connected to this larger picture here, to this entire thing. So when we wonder why Flora is buried, why there's a wall or a complete lack of transparency around Flora, and you realize what's all transpired in from the years 2016 until now, this very day. I mean, look, we're coming on 10 years. It all starts to make sense. This is why there's no transparency, because what this uncovers is something else. This is not just a national conspiracy. Like, let me back it up. It's not just an Indiana conspiracy. It's not just a national conspiracy. This is an international conspiracy. Now, have I made that clear enough? Anyway, as you'll see here, within a month of that Frank's memorandum exploding onto the scene, there was the necessity to have Mr. David Hennessy represent our attorneys here in this case, the defense attorneys, in an effort to keep them from being jailed. And as you see here, this is the memorandum regarding possible disqualification or sanctions, because what the hopes were the hope was to have them jailed, to teach them a lesson, just like they did Todd Click, just like they did Greg Ferenczi, and just like they want to do Kevin Murphy. But you notice he keeps his damn mouth shut. So he's fine for now. Anyway, we got here, okay, by October, by a month after the leaks, within a month after the leaks, within a month after the Franks memorandum, and a mere matter of weeks after the leaks caused by this very group of people, not Baldwin and Rozzi, you had this, which was the memorandum to try to rescue Baldwin and Rozzi from the wrath of Fran Gull. Okay. And let's see. Whoops, what did I do? I just blazed past. I don't know what I did. I lost my page here. Okay, let's see. Well, listen, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, only 200 pages loaded of this document, but it's longer. Anyway, what comes after, I think we've done enough. What comes after, as part of this writ here, with all of these exhibits, is they were trying to show, or as part of all of these exhibits, they were all the safekeeping, wrangling and wrestling, and the continuing efforts to keep Baldwin and Rozzi on the case and defending Mr. Allen. You know, it's been a whole deal. Something no one wants to talk about, okay, because people want to easily forget. They want to forget the efforts that were taken to try to strip Mr. Allen of the vigorous representation of Baldwin and Rozzi and Miss Jennifer Auger. It's been amazing, all that has transpired. I mean, just think of this, how insane this is, that you force them under the threat of exposing them in front of the cameras. Let's get back to transparency. That's the topic for tonight. So let me get back to transparency, because I've said there's been a complete lack of transparency on purpose in an effort to obscure the truth about this entire case and the whole thing with Abby and Libby and Richard Allen and the entire thing. It's been a wall. I showed you McClellan on October 28, 2022, a matter of, and he actually authored it the day before, October 27th. So in a matter of 24 hours after arresting Richard Allen, there was already an effort underway to completely seal up this entire case. And to this very day, we're fighting for transparency, for any sort of viewing and possessing of the exhibits, not to mention all the other evidence that was not used as exhibits. We want transparency. And now they've given us images of a phone which don't match the known phone that for years that girl was said to be using, a rose gold iPhone. We know for certain. I spent the entire weekend researching these phones. What do you think I've been doing for several days? I wanted to know everything I could about iPhones. No, let me tell you about it, because I actually documented it. So I went and I said, I need to know everything about iPhone 6S's and how they look and what shape they are and blah, 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 blah. So I went look at all that, okay? And then I said, you know what? That's not enough, because there are these little iPads. And so Let me see if I can grab that just to describe to you. I'm not going to put it on the screen because there are so many lies being told and so many things they're trying to get over on you. It's just astonishing. But back to these iPads. Let's see. Who knows where that screenshot is? But these iPads were. Let me do this. There's an iPad Mini. Okay, we're basically talking about. Fuck it. It's the iPad Mini, 7-inch version. So I'm trying to find what I had already searched. Let's see. Okay. Now I believe unfortunately I lost that screenshot, but what I was looking at is the iPads historically and what iPad Mini that girl would have been using if that's an iPad Mini we're looking at. Okay, so the size of that thing is like 7 or 7.5 inches. Let's see. So your choice is an iPad Mini 4, possibly, which I believe is 7 inches. Let's see. It's a 7.9-inch iPad. Okay. I looked at that. I said, I have to learn everything about these iPad minis from before the date of February 2017. I have to learn everything about about iPhone 6S's. And then let's look at other devices that matched the appearances of these iPad minis and these iPhones at that time. And then to look at the colors and say, what does an iPhone 6S rose gold look like compared to another type of color? And it's just been overwhelming because why is it that there's never a straight answer from this crew? There's never a straight answer from this group, whether it's the witnesses who are out there, the family members, the law enforcement, the prosecutor. There's never a straight answer on any point. So we're given these photos of this phone now, and it don't match what we've been told for years. There's something don't add up. And we have extra devices which are referred to in discovery, and we want to know more. But on all points, everything's been kept from you. It's being hidden from you, which is why I've titled the show The Need to Intervene for Transparency. How many times is the media going to have to file motions to intervene in this case? I mean, you've got Freedom of Information Act requests, blanket denials, okay? Blanket denials. The prosecutor has denied them. The sheriff has denied them. The court reporter has denied them. The judge is denying them. So there's no freedom of information. Okay. So then there's the Records Act. The question is, why don't we have access to those exhibits now? Why is something like this necessary? Why is this necessary now? So how many, I mean, what I meant to do is to have a list for you, and I wasn't able to do it before the show was ready. It was time for the show tonight, but I was trying to get a list of how many motions to intervene and separate actions we have where it's all been in vain. It's all been in vain. There's been no budging on the side of this judge. Like I said, the one time she decided to allow the cameras, it was to use against these attorneys to say, you step down or I'm going to embarrass you out there in front of those cameras, which is exactly what happened. And so they stepped down. But yeah, why is this necessary? Okay. How many of these are necessary? Let me pull this up again so I can basically bring us to a close with a kind of bringing us full circle to this. Oh yeah, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Because this is really and I got to give it this to Mr. Robert Foos. Okay, Mr. Robert Foos from Lewis Wagner LLP. Okay, I got to give it to you. This one here is a great summarization here. At the end of the day, granting access to court exhibits, in this case, which has garnered significant public attention, would promote transparency and trust in the judicial system. See Nebraska Press Association v. Stewart, stating that secrecy of judicial action can only breed ignorance and distrust of courts, and free and robust reporting, criticism, and debate can subject the criminal justice system to the cleansing efforts of exposure and public accountability. As I've said, this has been a complete disservice to the memories of those girls. How on earth is controversy, anger, distrust, fear, anxiety, consternation, how is all of this any sort of nod towards justice for these girls? I said in my last show, do you think those girls would want this? But how can it be any other way? Bottom line, no one will ever believe the outcome of this trial. The only ones who would believe it are ignorant of the facts. They're deluded by trust or faith in the state without questioning or without any sort of skeptical insight. It's a very slim minority. And you've got to ask yourself, this small minority that's supporting this outcome, it's evident that things have not been handled properly. Now, look at what's going on nationally now. There's an effort to open the books of accountability and transparency. And this is what we're looking for out of this Delphi case. We want full accountability, transparency, facts only, and the ability to make things right after the fact, because there's no finality here. See, these people would have you believe that this is a finality. The jury has made their decision. It's the way that things are. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but if you have misled the jury, if you have withheld pertinent exculpatory information from the jury, if you have lied to the jury, surely that can't be allowed to stand, because an affront to justice anywhere is an affront to justice everywhere. And this is an affront to justice. And there was an opportunity here to bring true justice to the victims of the Delphi murders so that they would rest in peace and their memories would be well served and respected forever. And it's not what's happened. It's what we all want, though, because what we want is true justice for Libby and Abby. We want to see those responsible tried and convicted by a jury of their peers, and the information to be compelling. We want it all to be done out in the open in a transparent manner so that everyone can have faith and confidence in the results. But this has been a travesty. And the thing is that these people cannot make it otherwise. You can't make it not a travesty, because it is one. You cannot make compelling evidence against Richard Allen, because there is none. And you cannot make the people believe that everything was done on the up and up, and this is a legitimate outcome of a fair process, because it is not. And so we keep our chin up, we're keeping our heads up, and we're looking to the future and saying, we will not quit. So I applaud this Twist Media. Okay, let me give them their accolades again. I applaud this Twist Media, LLC. I applaud your efforts. I do. I applaud this Dateline NBC. I applaud your efforts. And I applaud Andrea Burkhart. Where is hers? Let me put hers up, because she deserves a lot of credit here. She really did try. Okay. And she's still trying. Okay. I applaud Andrea Burkhart. And I applaud everyone who stood up and tried to do the right thing here for these girls. And I applaud all of you, because I know all of you, you spend your time. I watch you. People here spend hours and hours. I watch you on the other channels. I see that those of you here are here daily. And I applaud you. And so we'll continue to work on this. I am working on a couple presentations that are rather expansive and have been taking a lot of time to put together. But I was very glad to see this. It's unfortunate we have to be at a place now where all of the FOIAs are being blanket rejected and laughed at. They're honestly, they're being laughed at by the prosecutor. I could show you the screenshots. I'm not going to do it. We've been begging. We've been begging for information since the October 28th press conference. I believe was that when the press conference was? Let's see. Let me Google it because I don't want to be wrong here. I think it's October 28th, 2022. When was the press conference? Thought someone would say in the chat, so I didn't have to look at it, but that press conference was extremely concerning. And since that day, yeah, I thought it was October 31st. I don't know why I said October 28th. I thought it was October 31st. Yeah. But since that day, we've been begging for more information. The media coalition has been begging for more information. And why are we now, February of 2025, begging for information? I guarantee you what's happening right now, and I'm going to close out with this, but and I hate to say this. I guarantee you right now, they are sanitizing and whitewashing this entire investigation because they know that eventually it's going to have to be disclosed. And it's a shame because we know they've already done that. Like, there's absolutely no way you can tell me that those 70 days of deleted interviews, etc., and you don't even know what else. Remember, there's always the unknown unknowns. We don't know what else has been deleted. Fingerprints, DNA, video evidence. Remember, when they say that Liberty's phone was reset because it was having problems, remember, photos were deleted, videos were deleted, and messages were deleted. Do you know that? This thing has been whitewashed since day one. Before day one, they deleted Liberty's photos, Liberty's videos, Liberty's messages. Okay. Then they went into the social media and they deleted Liberty's connections, Liberty's private messages, DMs. This shit has been whitewashed since before those bodies were found. possibly up to a week before. And you don't think that they're sanitizing discovery right now? Remember when I read to you uh, in the last show, I read to you some of the inventory from discovery, and I said it was odd how what was referenced was that there was stuff in the ISP folder. Let's get back to that, and I'll close out with that. That's so important, I think. Okay, where is it? It's right here. See, the Indiana State Police is going to have to arrest me to shut me up. I won't shut up. And according to Frank Shyster, they're working on it. So, but let's see. It says here, in reference to the ISP folder, it says some of the reports. Let me see if I can show that to you because it's so concerning. Because we're talking about sanitizing this information and discovery and retroactively going and deleting or whatever they've done to it. Okay, let's see. I don't have to show you. I'll read it. But you'll remember this. It's from page 2 of States Exhibit 7. It says, some of the reports contained in this file are also uploaded to eDiscovery. Following the eDiscovery release, we discovered that some of the files in the Indiana State Police may be incomplete or not populated in eDiscovery. Therefore, all the files in Indiana State Police were copied to this drive. Now, I believe Indiana State Police is a folder or a drive in Discovery. But what I believe it contains is it's all the reports from the Indiana State Police that exist in Discovery all gathered together in one container. So it says, we discovered that some of the files in the Indiana State Police container may be incomplete or not populated in eDiscovery. Therefore, all files were copied in this drive. What does not populated mean? Seems pretty important, doesn't it? Incomplete. So what it means is that the first round that you got from ISP had shit missing. Let's talk in plain talk for you. So we really understand what's being said here. And like I said, this is the bottom of page 2. I almost want to pull it up. Yes, I do. I want to pull it up while we're doing this, because it's very important, in my opinion. Let's see. States Exhibit 7 is what I need. There we go. Ah, fuck it. Okay. Listen, States Exhibit 7, page 2. And this is the inventory or the receipt of the physical discovery release. Page 2 at the bottom. Some shit is missing from the ISP. Therefore, we're giving it all to you now. Well, what that tells me is that they decided at a certain point, yeah, we'll give it all to you. We'll give you this stuff now, which means there's a gap. You got it? You get what I'm saying? There's a gap. There was shit that was sent in discovery, and then at a later point, and this is the date of this is February. No, I'm sorry. We're talking about when this was handed over. So let's see when this was handed over. January 30th of 2024. So on January 30th of 2024, here you go, here you go, lawyers. Here you go, lawyers. Could be nothing, but it could be something. It just seems like there's a whole lot of redacting, revising, deleting, whitewashing, sanitizing, inserting. Why all this fuckery? Okay. All right. So I guess the question is, what's the remedy to this refusal to provide public documents? I'd like to know. All right, so let's see. I see you in the chat. Let me see. I want to thank MJ Lewis. What's up, MJ Lewis? 1964 for the super chat. Kate Eleanor for the super chat. Jake Brooks for gifting memberships. Y'all, Jake Brooks gifted memberships on both channels. You know that? Everyone say thanks to Jake Brooks, please, for the gifting of memberships. And also, let's see, those of you who sent me super chats elsewhere, like Cash Apps, Buy Me a Coffees. Thank you for doing that as well, because I see that I got some. I see they got some Buy Me a Coffees and Cash App. Thanks for everyone. Thanks to everyone for providing the assistance to the channel. Appreciate those donations, and especially to Jake Brooks for giving the memberships. All right. Yeah, guys, I saw my messages. No big deal. I saw my messages. Thank you. But Jake Brooks, thank you for sending the gifts as memberships to the channel, because now those people can go and enjoy the train guy video and be members for the month. And I really appreciate that, Jake Brooks. And also Michael, thanks for the Cash App and Radar and anyone else who supports the channel. Thank you so much. And which reminds me to say to those of you on the replay, thanks for being here. And please do leave a little something behind, okay? Down in the comment section. Say hello. Leave your comments. I always appreciate the comments. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that. Comments, please, and hit the like and all that good stuff. And let me see. Anything else? I really hate to end. I don't know. I really hate to end because I'm so stuck on this concept right now that there's been a complete blanket of secrecy thrown over this entire case. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting in that there's such. How many of you can afford attorneys to write motions to intervene for you to try to get you the access to these documents? I mean, I wish I could, honestly. I wish I could afford to hire a high-powered attorney to say, write me something to get me access to these exhibits. Write me a motion to intervene. I wish we all could write motions to intervene. I mean, this whole thing about trying a case in the dark. Trying a case in the dark. The double murder of two little girls that you have to try this in secrecy. You have to seal, obscure, hide. You know why you don't want those crime scene photos out? It don't have nothing to do with the families. Trust me, if those families cared about justice for those girls, those families would say, please. Those families themselves, those grandmothers, grandfathers, mothers, fathers, they themselves would be spam posting those crime scene photos on social media. You know why? Because they would want the world to see those sticks on those bodies. No shit, yo. No shit. There's no other way to say it. You think I haven't fucking lost someone that I care about? We've all lost someone we've cared about. Stop giving me the fucking guilt trip over dead bodies. Yeah, there's dead bodies. Now, if you fucking cared, you'd want those people who made them bodies dead to be held accountable. So you would want those crime scene photos out so people could see, and it might ring a bell. Oh, I think I've seen Brad Holder post those. I think I've seen Elvis Field post shit like that. I think I've seen this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, there are no Odinists? That's another thing. Fuck Delphi docs. Since I got to say it. Since I got to be the one to say it. Fuck Delphi docs on Reddit. I was astonished with what I read. I was astonished. They, okay, do I have to go read it for you? Because they are trying to say there's nothing Odinist connection about Greg Ferenczi, about Shane Meehan, about anything else, about no for no Odin, no Odin, no Odin, no Odin. Sorry, can't buy what you're selling. Can't buy what you're selling. Smells to me like you're trying to bury this. You're trying to bury this case on Ron Logan, meaning don't look at the Odins, don't look at the signals, the signatures at the crime scene, don't look at blah, 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 blah. Fuck Delphi docs. You're trying to bury this case. Nope, I don't buy it. Like, unless you can explain that to me, it makes zero sense. Okay, it makes zero sense why you try to be. Why are you out here trying to discount Rom? I mean, Odin connection to Greg Ferenczi or to Shane Meehan or to any of that. Like, well, what's your fucking angle here? I'm not buying it. And then another thing that I'm not buying. Okay, here's another thing because I gotta say it. I just gotta say what I feel. Another thing I'm not fucking buying is you say no. Richard Allen's jailhouse confessions don't matter. Yes, some people failed polygraph, passed polygraphs, polygraphs matter. But then you turn around and you say, but yeah, Reese Davis's jailhouse uh, uh, fucking secondhand relating of Ron Logan's alleged confessions matter. Then you say, but Reese Davis failing the polygraph doesn't matter. Like you're blowing the fucking minds here because you're inconsistent. It reeks of hypocrisy. It really reeks of hypocrisy. And then you're also saying that although the FBI for years worked on Ron Logan trying to nail him down and was unable to, that he's absolutely the lone wolf killer of these girls. I don't know, man. It's either you buy Jailhouse Confessions or you don't. And I don't. You know what I buy? When I go listen to Open Secrets talking to Garrett Kurtz and Chris Mathis and how they all speak intimately as if they are involved and they're very sober minded and they're not at all tweaking, tripping, twacking. You can see their eyes, their body language, and they're all talking like they have knowledge of this crime. That's what I call a jailhouse confession or a statement that implicates thyself and thy others that looks pretty compelling. So fuck Delphi docs. There, I said it. And another thing, I'll double the fuck on you. Fuck you for never putting my channel in your list of channels covering aspects of the case, because I notice a pattern here. I see everyone else's channels copy pasted into the various threads, and I never see a proppy poo, and I wonder, the fuck? Because my channel has zero value. Yes, I get it. I get it. I get it. My channel has zero value, and I'm not ever have contributed an ounce to these girls. So yeah, I get it. I get it. Makes a lot of sense. Delphi docs. So there, I've said what I had to say. I've gotten it off my chest. I guess I'm not in the cult, but it's cool. But I said what I had to say. So there, it's pretty cathartic. I feel good. I'll let it out. It's fine with me. It's fine with me. I say what I have to say, whether it be here, whether it be on Twitter or on the phone or text message. I always say what I have to say. So I feel good. I feel good. I think I've done a lot. I've made a huge encyclopedia of content here on Delphi. It's pretty interesting looking back, and I always aim to do better. I want to do better, and I want to build in a better direction. But even if I would stop now and look back, I would say, damn, I built a pretty good collection of information, because pretty much anything you're looking for, you can go dig up on this channel. And if you don't like the way I talk or whatever, speed it up or whatever, print out the transcripts, take screenshots of the shit I share on the screen, whatever the case may be. I'm pretty proud of the channel just based on the volume, the large volume of data and content. So that being said, I guess I got my airing of grievances since we started off joking about Seinfeld. I'll say this. That was my Festivus airing of grievances. And there, I feel much better. Okay. Anyway, y'all, I'm so grateful that all of you were here. And those of you who stuck around and are still here in the chat, appreciate you for being here. I really do. Thanks for sticking it out to the end. Appreciate you. Who is Delphi Docs? Well, that's a funny thing. I really don't know. It doesn't matter to me. The point is, I don't think they're really fucking fair. Something ain't smelling right. All right. So yeah, we made it through, and we did the good old airing of grievances. So Festivus is nearly complete, I guess. All right. Hey, thank you, Shibby. Well, hey, what do we know about correctional officers? Let's start off, let's reverse engineer it. You know, the majority of them are tied to the white nationalist gangs, the Odins, out in the free world. Okay, so yes, attacking an FBI field office agent, investigating the Odin. All right, this channel is raw and real gangster. All right. Thank you, Christina. Did you see me? You see me get that out? Did you see me get that out? All right. So we're out of here. Amy says thank you for being here. I say thank you to Amy for being here. She's always here. Yes, this is true. Meehan worked in federal prison which is why it would make sense that he would want to kill Greg Ferenczi. Because I said, this ain't no fucking Delphi. Okay, this ain't Delphi. This is an international ring. And if you don't get it yet, it's okay. One day you will. One day you will. This is an international trafficking ring. Don't ask me how Abby and Libby got tied up and killed as a result of it. Can't tell you that. But here's how we know. Everyone surrounding this case, they swarm this case. They're like fleas. It's an international trafficking ring. So, welcome to Delphi. Hope you survive. Anyway, thanks everyone for being here. Appreciate you for being here. That was a wonderful show. I hate to leave tonight because all my favorites are in the chat, but that's what it is. So we're done. I'll see you soon, though. We'll have, like I said, I'm working on several shows, 2 really big ones. It's just taking a long time to get it all stacked up. But we are working on some stuff. But I appreciate you for being here tonight. And hey, enjoy the channel. And those of you who are on the replay, again, please hit that like on the way out. Leave some comments down below. Support the channel and all that. And we'll see you again. I usually come on in the evenings in the U.S. Okay, weekday evenings in the U.S. That's my approximate time frame. I'm working on getting a better schedule happening, but we're working on it. So we'll see you later. Dark Hearts, until next time.